See, while studying Mendelian inheritance pattern, we come to know that when two heterozygotes are crossed with each other, then in next generation, the offspring ratio comes 3:1. But because of certain regions, this 3:1 ratio may get changed, and instead of this ratio, 2:1 or some other ratio may be obtained. So let us see the cause of this. Actually, the cause of this deviation in ratio may be allele lethality, that is a specific allele of that locus may cause lethality to the individuals who carry such allele in a specific combination. So let us see certain examples to get acquainted that in what situation 3:1 classical Mendelian ratio gets changed to 2:1. For this purpose, I am giving example of agouti coat color in mouse. This is one of the classical examples in which Q0 explained the inheritance pattern of coat color in mouse. See, in mouse, two types of individuals are there. There could be agouti. Agouti are those who possess brownish coat color, and others could be yellow coat colored. Now, suppose the specific locus which is actually responsible for determination of coat color or skin color in mouse is being represented by two alleles. One A, this A allele causes agouti color, and its alternative form AY causes yellow coat color. And AY allele is dominant over A, that is that one which causes agouti color. So if an individual will possess AY allele, then this particular phenotype, that is yellow phenotype, should appear. Now, because of presence of these two alleles, A and AY, three genotypes will be possible. That is AA, AAY, and AYAY. Now we find that AA will result into the phenotype agouti, that is such mice will have brownish coat color. Then mice having AAY genotype, they should be yellow because AY allele is dominant over agouti, and also those who have AYAY genotype, they will produce yellow coat color. But what we find that if two mice with genotype AAY, see if a male individual with the yellow phenotype having genotype AAY is crossed with a female which is also yellow coat colored, and its genotype is AAY, then in next generation instead of 3:1, that is 3 yellow and 1 agouti, we obtain 2:1 ratio. You can understand this particular event through this Punnett square. See, the male individual with AAY genotype will produce two types of gametes, 50% of gametes with capital A allele and remaining 50% with AY allele. Exactly same way, in case of female, two types of gametes will be formed, that is 50% with A allele and remaining 50% with AY allele. Now there would be random fertilization of such gametes, male and female gametes. As a result of that, you see these four Punnett squares are shown to display the fertilization pattern. That is, if egg containing A allele gets fertilized by sperm with A, then genotype will be AA and such individual will be agouti. Now if an egg with A allele gets fertilized with AY, then the phenotype will be yellow, individual will be heterozygous with genotype AAY. Likewise here also, a gamete with AY gets fertilized with A, genotype will be AAY, yellow, and such mice will be yellow in phenotype. And this last one, AYAY, will also be expected. Actually, this one is expected to be yellow, but what we observe that only 2:1 ratio is obtained. In fact, in 1910, some scientists they could observe that 25% of allotypes they do not survive. They actually die during embryonic development itself. So those who are agouti, they are actually 25%, and then 50% of them who are actually allo with genotype AY, they only survive. And homozygous allotypes, they are actually those individuals which are not born at all. Now, same event we can understand in case of humans, although in case of humans, you know, a very fixed kind of mating pattern cannot be performed. But yet, yes, if such marriages do take place, then what would be the situation that we can at least understand by seeing this particular example? Achondroplasia is a phenotype in which the individual is dwarf. Okay, so achondroplasia is a disease we can say in which the person's height will be very short and such individuals suffer with dwarfism. Now, there is a specific locus on chromosome. It may have two allelic forms, A which causes normal height and another one AA that causes dwarfism. And here AA, this one is dominant over A. Okay, so capital A, small a means this one is dominant over the other one. Now, exactly the same way as I discussed just now, three genotypes will be possible. That is capital AA type, then capital A and small a, this type heterozygote, and AAAA means such homozygotes will also be there. So what we expect that those who are having AA allele, they will be actually dwarf. So normal types, dwarf, and dwarf homozygous should also be there. But exactly what happens if marriages occur between a female who is dwarf with genotype AAA and a male one with the same genotype, then in the next generation you can theoretically believe that their 1/4 of children will be normal because they will have normal allele AA, and then means 50% of them will be dwarf because they will be heterozygous. And those who will be homozygous AA types, they will not be surviving at all. They will not survive their fetal life. Such individuals will have to die because this particular allele in homozygous condition actually causes death. Unfortunately, here small a should be there, but it is remaining as Y. So two types of gametes will be formed in case of male. Exactly the same type of gametes will be there. Two types of gametes will be there in female, and here we find that if such kind of matings are there, then 25% of their children with homozygosity will not be surviving. So that is the reason that if lethal alleles are there on a specific gene locus, then that situation will result into change in the normal segregation ratio.